Every morning as you rise, you hear the gunshots firing. Before you go to bed, you hear them again.
The man who killed my brother, he must send threat, say, he's gonna kill me.
Even if you're in your sleep, you can hear the gunshots firing.
I feel very bad, very bad. Because I know that when I was much younger, Trenchtown wasn't like this.
From Friday evening to about Sunday evening, 4 o'clock, 4:30, you have the shots firing.
The M1 Enforcer, the Mach 10, the Thompson, the Bushmaster, 303 rifle.
Right now I'm scared. All around is just gun and war.
The guns them get more sophisticated. The M16, the AR-50, the Eklund Koch, the Israeli Uzi, the 357 handgun.
Be a gunshot man of fire, bullet hole.
Just fire shot indiscriminately. These guys take killing for fun.
Say to the people that are watching us live on the internet, good afternoon. And as always, it is good to stand before you. You know, back in the day, where a lot of y'all was still trying to get out of your mother's living room, wouldn't let you play in the yard. But back in the day, you know, when we're talking about Israel going home, everybody was teaching that we were going to serve for 400 years, and after 400 years, we were going to go back to the land. And we even had picked us a year, 1979. See, I knew Hope, as old, as gray as he is, I knew it when he was young. And I knew his daddy, Canaan. He used to walk around with a sign. I think it was a End of Time or something in 79. Anyway, all of us thought we were going to be leaving here, and the 400 years would be over with that time. And we all got ready for it. We all got ready in case when things got hard, we're going to run off and get out the way until it's time to go. So we're going to kind of like prepare ourselves when they cut off the gas and everything. I even have a wood-burning stove in my basement right now. Been collecting dust for close to 40 years. But the whole thing is, sisters and brothers, it's one thing that we never overlook, is that the Lord always give you signs and certain events that have to take place before you are delivered. And we did not understand. Well, I'll tell you something. I bought the stove to hide, but I ain't never bought into the 400 years. Because once I come into the Word, I was a reader. And I read that. I just didn't say too much about it because everybody was teaching it. Israelite was teaching it. The Muslim was teaching it. But then 79 came and gone. We're still here. And the reason we was going for the 400 years is because everybody misunderstood what the Lord told Abraham when he said that his offspring is going to be evil treated for 400 years. And after that 400 years is over with, they're going to be delivered. Nobody ever paid no attention. Nobody paid no attention that the Lord is already, when he told Abraham that, and he's going to give him the seed. But there was certain time restriction that was brought into play, and then the generations that the Lord was going to bring Israel back. Let's go and look at this, because that's why the Lord calls me to title this lesson and let you know that Israel can't go back before certain conditions. So, because this is a long title, but he called me the title of Jesus cannot return, nor Israel be gathered before the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. Israel cannot return, and Israel cannot be gathered before the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. This is what people don't understand. There is no mystery in the Bible. The Lord tell it all. So now, when you turn around and say, well, 1940 and 1948, the Jews went back to the land. Not according to the Scripture. Because the Lord has always had his word structured so that you will not make errors. You will know exactly what he's talking about, and you will have all kind of proof to show it. So now, when we get through this lesson, you're going to understand that until the times of the Gentiles is over with, Israel can't return, Jesus can't return. Who are the Gentiles? Sisters and brothers, these are the people that we call Europeans, or just plain white people. They run it. There ain't nowhere on this planet that the Gentiles don't run it. They got all these little bitty government, well, Mother Africa, they run that too. Right. They subsidize them. They go and build wells so they can get water. They can't even come up with their own water stuff. Same thing, anything happen, any disaster happen, it is the Gentiles that's rolling in with all of the food. It is the Gentiles that set up the United Nations and got armies to go and keep the peace everywhere. Yes. Because this is the time of the Gentiles, sisters and brothers. So now, but the Lord said something. He gave Israel a directive and let you know that we as a people will not return until Jesus comes, and he cannot return as long as it is the time of the Gentiles. But this ain't the first time it happened. When God got ready to take Israel to the land, when he brought them out of Egypt, he had a time, a line. Let's go into Genesis, the 15th chapter, and look at it. Because the Lord is real thorough. He leaves no room for error. So if you make an error, that's because you have decided you're going to interpret what thus said the Lord, which you don't have the capability of doing, sisters and brothers. Nobody has. Can nobody interpret the mind of God? Either if he don't tell you what's on his mind, you don't know what's on his mind. Yes. And in order for you to know what's on his mind, you got to read his word. It's simple as that. But we have been sensitized and made numb through all this bad teaching and thinking that you got the preacher is such a wise man. The wisest preacher I ever known was the one that Solomon described in Ecclesiastes. Because the preacher was wise, he taught the people knowledge. Yes, sir. Whose knowledge? God's knowledge, not his. Now let's look at this thing that God did with Abraham and this promise he made about him, his seed. We're dealing with the physical seed now. Genesis 15 and verse 1. 15 and 1. Read it.
After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram. I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
Now,